Thank you, Modern Vintage Gamer. Thank you, Modern Vintage Gamer, for the excellent video you just put out today. I really no need to put the link down in the description. I mean, the dude has like, what, 10, 1,000, 100 times the subscribers I got. I mean, it is ridiculous, but what he said is something I've been preaching on this channel for the longest. Like, you know, a lot of people get down and out about preservation and emulation and ROMs and stuff like that. I said this on at least 2 videos. It is up to us to preserve these games. And I'm glad that a bigger voice, Modern Vintage Gamer, put that out there so more people can hear it, because my voice, even though I do value it a lot, it's my voice, I know I don't have the reach like these other big YouTubers, these bigger content creators have. And I'm glad that he echoed the sentiments that I have. I'm pretty sure other people have said it as well, but I really love his videos. I really like what he says, and I follow him, you know, to the T when it comes to, you know, preserving games, emulation, and just some of the stuff that he talks about on his channel. Absolutely great. So with that being said, yes, it is up to us to preserve these games. There's no way around it, because the government, I just did a video about that as well, they said that you can't archive these games like movies and music. Also, all these companies, Nintendo, Sony, and to some degree Xbox, they have no interest in really keeping our old retro games alive. Like, I think there's some statistic out there, there's almost 87 to 90% of games that have been published or released, they're no longer available. So you're talking about only, you know, 13% of games you can actually buy in some form of fashion. All the other 87% you have to download via ROM, or you know, you download via ROM, but you just have to preserve them based on whatever you bought before. I have a PlayStation 3 with the 1 terabyte hard drive with all of my purchases from the PlayStation Store, because I don't want to lose that stuff. Now, I'm kind of afraid that I may get locked out of that stuff at some point, because PlayStation is weird when it comes to your PlayStation not being attached to their online services, even though it's on the hard drive. I don't think it's going to happen, but I have that fear. Same thing with Xbox, which I think Xbox is going to be online forever because of the way the ecosystem is set up. You just never know. When you have your games tied to an online server or service, you'll always have the risk of being locked out of certain things. This is one reason I do like Nintendo, because as of the Wii and the Wii U, whatever you got on that hard drive right now is going to always stay there. There's no locking out of anything. You have access to it if it's on the hard drive. Now, I don't think there's any re-download mechanism. Like, let's say if you lose it off the hard drive, you can't go back to the Wii store to re-download, or the Wii U store to re-download it. Those stores are dead. So I am happy about that. But at the end of the day, we need to preserve our games. It's up to us at this point, because nobody's going to do it. Nobody else is going to do it. These companies, they want to, you know, they want to resell you Sonic for the 19th time on the next console. I mean, that's what Sega does. You know, I mean, Sonic Origins, Sonic Plus, the Sega Genesis collection on the PS3, the other Mega Drive collection on the PS4, and you keep going back, further back and back. Every generation, you get another form of the original Sonic trilogy. Same thing with the Mario stuff. You can get Mario 1 right now on the Nintendo Switch shop or whatever. They had it on the Wii U, they had it on the Nintendo Wii, and so on and so on. And it's just the way it is, man. That's just what they're doing. I would not be surprised at some point you get another way to get the God of War series again on a new platform, because that's just the way that things are nowadays. You know, I mean, Xbox is doing a really good job of preserving some games, but it's not true preservation, but it's a step in the right direction. But I don't think that direction is going to go any further from where we are. I do feel like you have to get the games that you want and keep them in a safe space on a hard drive, or just buy these games physically and keep the games that you want, because there's no other way around it. Now, I will say this. as far as emulation and downloading ROMs. Hey, if that's something that you want to do, that is totally fine, up to you. I don't knock it. It is what it is, because what's that saying is if selling is not owning, or buying is not owning, then piracy is not stealing. That I totally agree with that. And nowadays, people who download ROMs, most of people that I've ran into, and I wish this was some type of statistic out there to really see this, a lot of people really download ROMs because they're not available. Not because they can buy them, but they choose not to. A lot of people buy their games, and there is a niche area of people who just flat out just want to crack a game that just comes out. Like Black Ops 6, if they could, you got people out here that are probably just want to crack the game and play it and pirate it. There's not that many people to do it. Is it too many? Yes. But for the most part, people will buy games if they're available to purchase. What the gray area is, or I mean just the obvious area, to be honest with you, a lot of people buy pirate games, or they download ROMs or download ISOs to games that are not available anymore. Look at the Crew 20, not the Crew, but look at Grid 2019. Right now, 2019 version of Grid was an excellent racing game that's been delisted after, less than 5 years on the market. And now there's areas where you can download that game and all the DLC. And to be honest with you, I don't blame them, because I bought the game. But if you did not buy the game and you're sitting here wanting to play that game and it's right there, who's to say that you shouldn't buy it? Now, I mean, who's to say you shouldn't download it? Yeah, technically that's illegal, but if it's not available for purchase, I can see why people do that. So this is why I'm saying, like, we got that game could be gone forever. It could be gone forever if nobody does anything about it and keep that game and preserve it. And there's no place where you can, I think there's a few places where you can buy it, the G2As of the world or whatever the case may be. There's a couple other places that, not necessarily reputable. I wouldn't, put my credit card on any of those places. But there's places where you can buy the game, but for all intents and purposes, the game is delisted. And these are the type of games that you need to, preserve. Dirt 4, delisted. Dirt 3, delisted. There's a lot of games out here that you just can't really purchase anymore. And sometimes it happens on every week. There's some games being delisted that I can't name, but I'm pretty sure there's a website out there that you can find out what games being delisted on a daily or weekly basis. It just happens like crazy. So we need to find a way to preserve these games. Modern Vintage Gamer is on point. Shout out to MVG for putting that out there, because like I said, a guy with me with this, I don't have the biggest reach as he does. He was able to put it out there, and I'm glad that he said that with all of his subscribers and his reach. And I wish other people would talk about this more, because this is the way to go. And in some cases, I understand why FPGAs, and I talked about that in another video, why FPGAs are actually a thing now, because some of these consoles, some people just don't want to get the older consoles. They're not in good condition in some cases, and they're not really readily available. So when you make a new console, like the new analog, the analog console that plays N64 games, it's cool to see that stuff. I'm not against it. Just don't be like Sega's or Super Sega FPGA. And they're not looking good right now. And in some cases, some people are actually trying to revitalize the online capabilities of some of these old consoles. The original Xbox, for instance, you can play games online with the original Xbox. I think Nintendo, some people are trying to do that one as well. And I will kind of stay away from that, because Nintendo is Nintendo, and you'll end up, losing, everything financially, messing with them. So I don't recommend it. But nevertheless, it is out there. People are trying to preserve this stuff, because at the end of the day, out of all the consoles that have been made, the 20, 30, 40, 50 consoles that have been made since the late 70s, these are some fantastic devices, and I know they all don't last forever. They don't. Some of them aren't even capable of lasting as long as we would want them to. But it's good to have them while they're still around. I try my best to preserve and keep all my consoles in great shape, and I try to play them as much as possible because, you know, this hobby is just absolutely phenomenal. And to play these games on real hardware, which I talked about in another video, it's nothing like it. It's nothing like it, and I get it. If everybody want to go a different route, that is absolutely cool. There's nothing wrong with it, you know, because collecting consoles isn't for everybody. Collecting games isn't for everybody. But if you want to have these games readily available, it's up to us to keep these games around. It's up to us to preserve them, whether it be through buying real hardware, buying the real games, buying the cartridges, buying the CDs, buying the DVDs, buying the Blu-rays, all these games, or if you would go the route and get ROMs and ISOs and emulators. It's up to us at this point. I mean, do I advocate for it? Hey, I just want you to know that it is illegal technically to download these ROMs. The emulators are not, but the ROMs. So just be careful out there if you want to go that route. But I am in favor of preservation, you know, and I think that that's what a lot of us are trying to do. We're not trying to say, hey, we just want to get stuff for free. You know, people put a lot of work in trying to preserve these games and have them run on emulators, and people put a lot of work in buying real hardware and real software. And I just wish these gaming companies would recognize that we are trying to preserve what the great things that they've done over the last 50 years. They've done a phenomenal job of giving us entertainment in the form of video games, and it's a shame that they just dump on that type of stuff like it's nothing. Because a lot of us really love this stuff to the point where we'll go to the depths to preserve it. But maybe I'm just talking crazy. Y'all let me know. Are you in favor of preservation? Are you in favor of keeping these games around? Are you in favor of finding a place where we could just have these games and have some type of a middle ground where these companies are willing to sell us these ROMs? I don't see what the issue is. I think it'd be a fantastic idea, but look like that's not going to happen. At the end of the day, it is up to us to preserve these games. We need to preserve these games. We need to let the community know that it's up to us. And shout out to Modern Vintage Gamer yet again for putting that out there, because we need many voices on top of this, because I am a huge fan of it. I've been saying it forever, and I'm glad that he was able to put that out there as well. So I'm going to get up out of here, and I'm going to see what the rest of my day is going to be entailed. So I'm waiting for them to unload my truck. So hopefully you guys take it easy, and y'all be blessed. I'm out. Peace.